Hi guys, I'm Olivie Blake, and as you might know, I don't know why you're here if you don't know, I'm a writer. So I spend a lot of my time typing on a keyboard, which, simply put, hurts my hands, and I'm a huge baby. This is about to be a little session between you and me where I, Olivie Blake, am not writing. For the record, this was entirely Mr. Blake's idea. I was basically complaining to him, as I sometimes do, about how I write so many words during the day, and then I sort of have to sit down for a couple of hours because I really want to give good answers. But my hands just they hurt. Which is why he told me I should do this. He said, why don't you use your face and your voice instead of your computer? And I was like, that sounds fake. But okay, we'll try it your way. So, not only am I not writing, I'm also drinking. You're welcome to have a glass of whatever you'd like. As I've mentioned, I'm Olivie Blake. It's my face, my hair. All good things, I hope. One hopes. I don't know. We'll find out. So, I brought along a few of my favorite things. Got my dagger. Bet you didn't think I just had that sitting around, but in case anyone comes in to threaten us while we're having a lovely chat here into the void, we're safe. This is my Brazilian bum bum cream, worth its weight in gold. No one's paying me to do this. It's here. It actually is really great. It might be witchcraft. What am I, Oprah? I'm not. Oh my God, what is this? It's my book, but we're not going to talk about it. It's fine. Everything's great. This is just you and me hanging out, having a fun day on the internet. Can I ask for advice about college? When it comes to studying, my work ethic is not what it should be. Okay, well, work ethic is tough because it's a personality thing, right? Everyone has a slightly different way of motivating themselves. For me, it's sort of a guilt thing. Like, if I don't accomplish this thing, I'm going to feel terrible and feel like I don't deserve anything I give myself afterwards. It's not great. I have a therapist. It's fine. I like to have lists. So every Monday I sit down and I determine what I want to get done each day, conceivably based on whatever else I have that day, what times of day I'm going to be working versus what times of day I'm most productive. So I come into a lot of this already knowing what my personality is, right? Like, I have an idea when I'm able to get the most things done, and more importantly, when I'm not likely to get things done. It's really, really important to know your weaknesses so that you don't reveal them to others, and so that you can take advantage of them in a healthy way. Let's talk about future you, right? Okay, because what we want to do here in terms of work ethic and motivation and getting things done when you're getting through college is you have to be kind to future you. Present you probably doesn't want to study, right? Past you probably didn't. Present you, certainly not in the mood. But you have to treat future you like they're a friend, like they're someone whose life you don't want to make difficult. So you want to live your life in such a way that future you does not get swamped. And sometimes that means that present you has to do things that they don't want to, which sucks for present you, but that's what it is. You give yourself something that you need to get done, hopefully something achievable, something you know you can get accomplished. Scheduling things in advance is totally how I do things. It kind of gives you this feeling of, I know what I have to get done, and I know once I've accomplished it, I have accomplished something. So you can feel good about it. And then I have something what I have newly liked to call productive resting. After you have accomplished what you need to accomplish, then you give yourself your reward. You take a break. You go do something. You, I don't know, have a snack. I don't know why I'm treating you like you're my dog, like maybe you're food motivated. I don't know, maybe you are. I am. That's just how things are. Figure out what you can conceivably accomplish it, and then take rests when you need to. That's going to help future you be more prepared to take things on. Of course, a lot of that depends on you not being an asshole to future you, but if it helps you to visualize yourself as a person who's in the room with you, then you should totally do that. You definitely want to take the time to make yourself happy, even if it's not your current self. You will thank your past self later. I may be getting like too meta about this. Pause for a second. With white wines and blushes and rosé, you want to hold the stem of the glass so that the temperature of the wine doesn't get too warm. With college or grad school, very rarely, I think, do you have to do all of the reading very closely and attend lecture. I'm not saying you should slack off on one or the other, but if you have a lot of work and you have a lot of reading in one of your classes, for example, and you're not able to get through it, that's fine. Just pay attention in lecture the next day. Specifically with regard to exams, if you have done all of the reading or you have closely listened to all of the lectures, one or the other is probably sufficient. I definitely recommend lecture. If you know you don't have the time to do the reading, definitely attend class. If you're not attending class, actually, I don't know what's wrong with you. I mean, I went to school in the American university system, which is obscenely expensive. So if you think about how much money you are spending to not go to class, it's crazy. If that motivates you, write down your tuition divided by however many units you're taking to figure out how much money you're wasting when you don't go to class. Now I'm just lecturing you. I'm so sorry about that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to lecture you, but definitely go to class. Also, if your TAs ever have like review sessions, I used to have review sessions that were basically whatever was going to end up on the test, and it amazed me that sometimes people just wouldn't go to them. Go to them when people give you resources. Take advantage of them. And follow your syllabus. Your syllabus is very important. That can help you schedule, and that can help you figure out how much you get done and when you do your productive resting. Talk about boxing. So some of you might know that I box. I'm not like an expert or anything. I haven't been like professionally in the ring, but I can definitely talk about boxing techniques. Okay, so first of all, your stance. I'm right-handed, so bear in mind that everything I do is for a right-handed person, and it's going to be the opposite for a left-handed person, which is called southpaw in boxing. You're welcome. First thing, your stance to the side. You keep your hands up, protect the face, the moneymaker, the face. You're protecting your face. And you're to the side like this to be as small as possible. The smaller you are, the harder you are to hit. It's an exact science. It's a complicated science, but yeah. So you want to be as small as possible. For me, it was very hard because I was trained with I did ballet and ice skating, so it was always like, oh, squared up, like you want to have presence, right? Not in boxing. You want to be a sliver of yourself. So, like this. A jab is with your front hand. So for me, that's my left hand. Your jab is going to be the thing that's like, it's not your most powerful hit, but it's the one that keeps people away. So the jab, just my computer's going to sleep. Are you still here? I don't know, whatever. The jab is something that keeps your opponent away from you. A quick jab, you want to hit with these two fingers, because these are the strong ones. These two you can break. Try not to hit like that. Also, there's a little bit of leverage with your shoulders, because when this shoulder comes forward, this one comes back. Sort of like pulling a bow and arrow. Comes back while this one comes forward. Boom. And your cross is with your backhand. This is your dominant hand, so this is a stronger hit. So it comes across your body. Same concept with the jab, that you're pulling back with one shoulder as you come forward with the other. So yeah. I mean, pretty weird for me to teach you boxing while I'm like sitting down on this little rotating stool I've got here. Do I have any techniques to speed the writing process up? Yes, actually. I know this is Olivie Blake is not writing, but I'm not writing, I'm talking. My biggest thing, write and edit separately. Figure out the time of day you're most productive. For me, like the just getting something out and writing is the harder part. Like editing is something I can do basically anytime, right? Even when I'm tired, I can probably identify where a comma should go. But I can't just sit down and like crack open my head. That's not going to work. So in the mornings, I'm the most productive. I am not naturally a morning person. I want to make this very clear. This is something that was like trained over time. I make myself wake up early. But since I have done that, realizing that my morning hours are more productive, which I believe they are for most people, that's not science. That's not science. But if your morning hours are very productive, then those are the ones you want to use for the writing. So from like 6 to 9 in the morning, I'm going to get way more done than at any other point in the day. So I will write all of something, just word vomit it out, and then I'll put it away. And I won't touch it again for the rest of the day. I'll just put it aside. This requires some planning in advance if you have deadlines and such, which I definitely do. I definitely just met a deadline this week. If you didn't know, I write for Which Way magazine. You want to know about it? Go ahead and ask me. Anyway, then you put it away. And then the next day you write something else if you have something else to write, or you just, I guess not everybody is me who has a million different things to write at any given time. If you are, I start writing something different and then I take out in the afternoon the thing I was working on the other day after I put it away. And now I can look at it with fresh eyes. So I can spot the problems much more easily. I can identify whether the characters are easy to understand, whether everything makes sense. I'm more likely to catch errors that way. My brain has percolated a little bit more. So it's just going to end up being better that way. And in terms of getting writing done, I am refreshed from the story. So if I need to fill in the blanks a little, there's nothing worse than realizing, ooh, I need an extra scene here, but I'm already exhausted and I don't want to work on this anymore. So you give yourself that time to have a little time away, and then you come back and you're like, oh, I need this, that's easy, I just add it in right now. So yeah, I write a lot, hence this experiment here. And I'm not sure I can tell you how to write more, but definitely how to write more efficiently is to use your time wisely. And this is true for the college person as well. It's not really that effective to pour yourself into one thing all day. Like if it's something that if you have, a 20-page term paper or whatever, that's not something you want to do in one sitting. It's not going to be very good that way. I mean, we all understand you're going to have to at some points. I definitely did. And not every class you take in college is the most important class you ever take. So maybe you can't commit all of these resources. The resource of you not procrastinating. It's a resource. It is. I get it. And I can't exactly tell you to not do that. I'm just rambling. No one's here to tell me to stop talking. My dog hasn't said anything yet, so I'm just going to keep going. Don't force yourself to get through something all at once. Give yourself enough time that you can work on it not all at once. Is there a better way to say that? I don't know. The wine's hitting me already. This is another good piece of advice for planning for future you. And honestly, I almost guarantee your word counts will be higher. Because most likely you'll want to add things to your initial draft. Usually my second draft I add a lot, and then my third I cut a little. So yeah. Any supernatural experiences? Ooh, okay, well, first of all, I believe in basically everything. Like I've said before that I'm Catholic, but I'm not super religious. Sometimes I'm like, there could be a God. I feel like maybe it's sort of an ambivalent one. I kind of like to imagine him just kind of like observing what I'm doing, like, okay. If I were to die and find out there wasn't one, okay. And I'm saying this because do I believe in aliens? Sure. I mean, I find it hard to believe that there's only one world. That's crazy. This world is the only world? That just sounds fake. Is there a multiverse? Probably. I mean, how could there not be? That's peak science. This is absolute science right here. I like living in a world where all these things probably exist, and maybe I'll never see them. Do I believe in astrology? But I read my horoscope all the time. Do I believe in tarot cards and palm readers? I kind of think most palm readers are just like very, very observant, which is a skill. I am definitely willing to pay $10 to have someone just like observe and make guesses. I know that's crazy, but here we are. This is what you came for. None of this is supernatural, I guess. I do have a lot of moments of deja vu. I strongly believe I have existed in other, like, forms before. A lot of people have heard me say that I was once Anne Boleyn. I can't explain this. I'm like 45% sure. Well, it was because I would be reading books from that time period. Someone also asked me about my favorite time periods, which I don't want to get into right now, but sometimes I read stuff from that time period and I'm like, that's not how it happened. And how would I know that? I don't. I also sometimes get this feeling that I've met people in other lives before. Maybe this isn't a very romantic thing to say, but I don't think that I've ever met Mr. Blake before. So I think that he is like my person in this life, but I think he's new. So I think maybe I earned him. That was kind of romantic. I should get points for that. But I feel like I meet like old rivals all the time. Like sometimes I meet people and I'm like, I for sure have hated you in a past life. I've gotten totally off track. I don't think I answered your question. I will say that the concept of coming back as like a caterpillar feels much worse to me than like divine punishment. Like the concept of, have I not had enough wine to talk about burning in an inferno? If I were aware that I deserved it, I think I could go through that. But if I just woke up and was like a cockatoo and didn't remember what I had done in my previous life, if I was a cockatoo after this life, I'm not sure what went wrong. I don't know, maybe I have great lives. Maybe I don't know anything. Why? Maybe neither of us should be here. What am I listening to? Oh, I love talking about music. Thank you so much. So I am really into the Lovely the Band album that just came out. It's really good. The band, I'm trying to think where the lead singer is from. The band is definitely from LA, and I feel like you can feel that in the lyrics. They've got this great sort of like upbeat melody situation, but the lyrics, you can feel this like emotional hollowness underneath, which is like a great way to describe LA. Los Angeles is like one of those places where it's just like, oh, it's golden, it's sunny, everything is beautiful here, but everybody's like a little bit vacant inside. I like it here. Anyway, Lovely the Band. If you're into classical music or like alternative classical is one of my favorites, which is definitely a real thing. Alexis French with two F's. French. There's a pre-release on the new album, which I think is called Evolution. Really beautiful piano melodies. If you need something to study to or daydream to, I recommend it. One of my favorite musicians is Watsky, which is the stage name of George Watsky, a poet and author. And he is incredible. You've probably heard me talk about him before if you've ever had any interest in my opinions, because I love him. Some people just have presence, you know what I mean? But anyway, he just came out with a new single. It's called Welcome to the Family. If you've never listened to Watsky before, I really recommend it. I also really like One of my favorite motivational songs is the song Bet Against Me by Watsky. Look it up. Okay, so I hope this was fun. I wasn't writing, so it was a win for me. I didn't have to write any of that down, and hopefully you got to see my various thinking faces, and they were like pleasing to you in some way. I really don't know. But in any case, this has been me, Olivie Blake, not writing. Perfect. And yeah, so if you want me to do this again, I definitely can. Weekly if you want. Totally up to you. And I guess there's really nothing else for me to say except thanks for being here.